Show the cheerleaders some love. Let's go, Jackson! Ladies and gentlemen, please support your FBLA and their merchandise bucket drop tonight. All proceeds will go to merchandise to support their mission and efforts to save babies. Also, if you see...
He had a camera like he was recording for the team.
Also, ladies and gentlemen, there is a raffle going on for a Yeti cooler. See your nearest Aggie Nation member. Tickets are $10. Winner will be called out homecoming October 6th. If you would like to enter the raffle, please see your Aggie Nation member.
Everybody got that comes with legal. It's wrong. Integrate with like your NDI or something like that. The drone I was using in Branson, it had an HDMI output. Guy that said he a trained brand on fly drone. The dude from Branson. Only problem is we gotta pay for it. That's what I'm saying. No, you can't just fly. Get a license there, it's gonna be awesome by the time you get that locked out. Like you not with too many new ones.
Shaking it, it's like Congo, man. I'm shaking the city like cakes. My haters blow in the face like Congo, cause I'm drinking the cake, so let's make it. I'm taking the game's mine. Yeah, I witness the change, it's my time. Yeah, I'm new to the game, but y'all might wanna say you like save the time. I can dance, homie, I don't two-step. Y'all looking at something like a true player. A girl told me that a man that can dance might could possibly get down with the tool in his pants. Now I'm a ladies, let me see it vibrate. And when it's over, you ain't gonna need your bird. Cause I'm a pro, make you bend your back low, and the pound it real bad, just like the perfect lady.
Also, don't forget Spook the Devil's Homecoming Parade. If you would like to enter the parade, there's a $25 entry fee. Side-by-sides are welcome. Also, there will be a powder puff game. And also a big fight.
See how they got this thing divided. How was it divided? What group is this right here?
And I got a special guest for you.
What group is this right here?
Come on and work it for me. Let your body move. We all get together and we're in the booth. We gon' party tonight. We gon' dance around, girl. My steppers at that know how to get down. Come on, step into your right. Now step into your left. Now right out in, left out in. Now right to stop. Stop, stop. Now move it on up and turn. Now move it on up and turn. Now jazz like step with it. Come on, jazz like step with it. Here we go now.
I'm going down there.
Watch it work. No need for you to step on the floor. No, if you're not ready to dance some more, then let it out. The party is right. Yeah, I hope you got your moves. Strap to the top. Here we go. Now step into your right. Now step into your left. Now right out in, left out in. Now right to stop. Stop, stop. Now move it on up and turn. Now move it on up and turn. Now jazz like step.
Don't forget to stop by the concession stand. It's nachos and never come. Also, if you would like a split the pie ticket, find your local JV cheerleader. They're out there.
good thing you had to go to that. I know. I saw a video of one of those.
Ladies and gentlemen, rise to your feet. And let's make some noise for your Jackson High School Aggies.
Stadium getting set for the matchup between a couple of teams in the top 10 in 4A football. Jackson at number 4, unbeaten at 3-0. Bayside Academy, number 9, unbeaten at 4-0. Not only a couple of teams that are unbeaten overall, but a couple of teams that are unbeaten in region play as well. Both teams coming in with 2-0 marks. And for Bayside, it's been a win over St. Michael and Wilcox Central. For Jackson, it has been a big win over T.R. Miller last week, 38-7, and then an even bigger win over Orange Beach, 50-2. So those are your region wins for both. Winning the opening coin toss, Jackson, and they have opted to defer. Coverage tonight being brought to you by these fine folks since 1945. Gulf City in the business of taking care of whatever need you have. As we get set for first half action, 12 minutes on the clock, and we are still in that time frame in which you'll have a heat break about halfway through. At least I assume so. It is a pleasant night, though, here in Jackson, Alabama. Bayside with a short kick, fair catch called for, made by Burke Brown. And that's where the Admirals will take over, first down and 10, right about the 28-yard line. Bayside under first-year coach Baron Trotter. 4-0, the biggest scare of the season was that St. Michael's game that went to OT. Before St. Michael Bayside Academy comes away with a win on a Teague Broadhead touchdown. So tonight, the test. Taking on a top 4 team in Jackson. Coming in with a 4-0 mark. And you got Damian Tate back, by the way. Tate sat out about a quarter and a half of the Wilcox Central ball game due to a bone bruise, but back in, gets the first carry. He'll bust his way to the 34-yard line. Gain of 7 on a first down carry. Nice start for Bayside Academy. Bringing up a second down. We'll call it 2. Might be a little closer to a 3 with the football between the 34 and 35-yard line. Damian Tate in the backfield. Sammy Dunn is well done. 5 touchdown passes last week in a huge performance for the sophomore. Both teams featuring sophomore quarterbacks who also started as freshmen. Hand off again to Tate. He'll be dropped behind the line of scrimmage. Loses a yard, brings up a third down and 4. Back to the 33-yard line. So the first third down situation for Bayside Academy. A couple of receivers to this side. One to the opposite. Wills Norton to the opposite side. Tate Moore and Bo Anderson to this side. On a third down and 4. Football spotted at the 33, got across the 36, get near the 38 to pick up the first. Dunn's first pass of the night, flushed out of the pocket. He'll pick up the first across the 40 and drops to the turf of the 42. First down and 10, Sammy Dunn and company. So Dunn dropped back to pass, couldn't find anybody open. Pocket collapses quickly. He takes off and runs. And picks up a first down. It'll be first down and 10 to the 42. Couple of receivers to this side. Pitch over to Tate. Tate, as the receivers help string it out. Uter and Moore stringing it out to the right side, and eventually Tate will pick up a yard or two. It brings up second down and long. Football spotted at the 43. Couple of minutes into the ball game, opening drive of the football game. Bayside taking over at their 27. Out to the 43, 7 away from Aggie territory. Here on the 5th week of the season for Bayside Academy. Halfway there, high snap, Dunn able to bring it in. Over to Moore with a pass. Able to break one would-be tackle, but still not able to get back to the line of scrimmage, and will lose a yard or two. And it'll bring up a third down and 11. Tate Moore, a jack of all trades for this Bayside Academy squad. We'll call it a third and 11. It's actually closer to a third and 10. Admirals got to get inside Aggie territory to pick up the first. Dunn has gone upstairs once. That moments ago to Moore. Dunn wanting to go long. His secondary target drops it. Hit him right on the numbers, but unable to hang on was Damian Tate. Actually, that is going to be Tate Moore, who's even more sure-handed than Damian Tate over the middle. That wasn't the primary guy, though. You could tell by the body language that Dunn wanted to take it long. Hobbs instead to bring it over the middle, incomplete with a pass that would have picked up a first, but instead brings up a fourth down and 11. And a punting situation for Bayside at the 8:44 mark in the first. Line drive kick, fielded at the 34, dropped at the 37. And that is Omarion King on the return out to the 37-yard line. And for the first time tonight, we'll take a look at the Aggie offense. 35 points against Demopolis, 50 against Orange Beach, 38 against T. Oliver Miller. This is an Aggie squad that will put up some points. And of course tonight, Bayside trying to keep that from happening. So the defense put to the test. And the first play, Duckworth with a completion. Gain of 11, coasted 12 to the 49-yard line. Duckworth, a 6'3", 180-pound quarterback, and again, just a sophomore. First down and 10 at the 49. In motion, Chris Payne. And now there is a penalty flag, and let's see what this is about. If I was to base it exclusively on the Bayside coaches, I would say it might be against the Admirals, but fortunately the 5-yard mark-off will go against Jackson. So it is first and 15, back to the 44. Xavier Crowell in the backfield by Duckworth. Got a target open. That is King. Makes the catch midfield. Gets inside Bayside territory to the 41. That will be very close to another Jackson first down. And now the sticks move. Indeed, it is first down and 10. So after the 5-yard mark-off, turned it into a first down and 15. And they pick up 16 to the 41-yard line. First down and 10, Crowell, first carry of the night. Drops the football, it is on the turf and hopped back into the hands of an Aggie, and that might have been Crowell who picked it back up. No, I believe that was Stevens able to get over and get it. Now check that, Crowell did indeed grab it on the hop. Just bounced right back into the chest. So he'll gain a yard out of it. So all in all, when he was about to cough up the football, I guess if you're the Aggies, you're okay with fumble and recovery by Crowell. Bayside with a missed opportunity brings up a 2nd down and 9 at the 41. Duckworth, strong rush, able to get rid of it to Kia Chapman, and Chapman breaks tackles inside the 10-5 into the end zone. Touchdown, 41-yard pass play when Broadhead had Duckworth wrapped up in the backfield. But Duckworth able to get rid of it. Chapman breaking tackles, 41 yards for the touchdown at the 6:40 mark in the first. Frustrating plays for the coaches because you almost get Duckworth, and then you got Chapman stopped with short gain. But breaks tackles for 41. And the extra point kick good as well. Jackson taking a 7-zip lead at the 6:40 mark.
We work really hard to please everyone, and we just received some fantastic feedback from a happy reviewer, telling us what a great job we did, and now we're happy to share it with you. And here's our latest rave online review. Our staff works hard to deliver top quality service and optimal value. It's just one more bit of evidence that we're on the right track with our company-wide emphasis on quality and satisfaction. You shouldn't settle for anything but the best, and we would love the chance to show you why we receive such amazing reviews. Thank you for taking the time to visit with us today. We look forward to speaking with you. We're only one call away from serving you.
Little squib kick. Picked up by Thomas Cunningham, and Cunningham will make his way to the 37. So field position hasn't been that bad of a problem for Bayside, 27-37. First down and 10, Admirals. And an opportunity to wrap up Chapman. Instead, Chapman breaks tackles, 41 yards on a pass play that actually covered about 5 through the air, but the rest on the ground by Chapman. Into the end zone for the touchdown, and let's see how the Admirals respond their drive following the TD. Don and Tate in the backfield. Give goes to Tate. He'll power his way forward for a yard or two. It brings up a 2nd and 8. Jackson has been playing football since 1960. That is, if my math is correct, about 84 years more than Bayside Academy. Done to pass on a 2nd down and 9. Got a target open. Pass is caught by Bo Anderson, and he'll be just shy of a first. Brings up a 3rd down and very manageable at the 45, about a yard and a half away from a first down marker. So here is the good news early in this one. The bad news is obviously Jackson on top by a touchdown at the 5:40 mark. The good news is Bayside has been able to move the football. Now looking at a 3rd down and a couple. Handoff goes to Tate. And Tate able to power his way towards the first down marker. It will depend upon the spot. Tate says he's got it. Let's see what the officials say. And they do indeed agree. So it is first down and 10 for Bayside Academy. Bayside just cracking the top 10 in 4A football in the state of Alabama. After 4 wins, 2 out of the region and 2 within. Knocked off Alberta and Pike Liberal out of conference in the region. Wins over St. Michael and Wilcox Central. Dunn firing long and well over the head of one Tate Moore, the intended target. His first option was Wills Norton. Opted instead to go long, and it's incomplete, brings up a 2nd and 10. These two teams have met one time before. It was last year in Daphne. And Jackson won that meeting 30-10. 2nd and 10. Admirals trying to make their first trip inside Aggie territory. Little dump off intended for Moore, a little too strong with a pass. Incomplete. It'll bring up a 3rd down and long. And great to have you watching the coverage wherever you're watching game coverage from. And on whatever device and on whatever site, YouTube or our website at JockJive. And yep, in the 3rd stanza, we're going to give you an opportunity to shout out. Heck, it's part of our routine. Might as well do it in this game, too. High snap on the turf, and Dunn's got a foul on it at the 39. It was about the 2nd or 3rd high snap to Dunn. That's the first, though, that he had to fall on and just could not execute the play. And it'll bring up a 4th down and long in a punting situation again. This time Aggies sending a couple of guys back to receive. Got Chris Payne and I believe that is Jamarian Gordon. It might be Omarion King. Those jerseys kind of get tucked up into the shoulder pads. That is a off the side of the foot kick that drops at the 43. And that is where Jackson will take over. Well, the official stepping up at the 45. Relatively short field for the Aggies. Ball at 45, where it is 1st down and 10. Well, we did skip past that 6-minute mark without a heat-related break, so I guess it is cool enough now not to worry about halfway through a quarter, taking a break and hydrating. Pleasant night here in Jackson. Head off given to Crowell. Got running room. Broadhand wraps him up at midfield. He will fall to the 49 on the Bayside side of the 50. So a gain of 6, bringing up a 2nd down and 4. 17 region championships for Jackson. State titles in 79 and 2011. 2nd and 4 at the Bayside 49. Duckworth to pass. Again, strong rush. Able to get rid of it over to a Bayside coach, and Bayside saying, hey, wasn't that intentional grounding? No flags, though, and it'll bring up a 3rd down and 5. Clock stops on the incompletion, 3:11 to play here in the 1st stanza. Bayside trying to push that season mark to 5-0. Third down and 4, Duckworth. Pass caught immediately, but wrapped up as Chapman. Did not get enough for the first. It is 4th and short. And now the question becomes for the high-powered Aggie offense. Do you go for it on 4th and short? And it certainly appears as though they will. 4th down and 1. Let's see if Duckworth goes to a hard count. Nope, snaps the football. Flushed out of the pocket looking for running room. He will get the first, but barely inside the 45. And it is 1st down and 10 for the Aggies. Well, the DB's doing their job, shut down the receivers. Nowhere to go for Duckworth, but able to scamper for a couple of yards and needed about 1.5 yards. That's enough for the first. It is 1st and 10 at the 45. Give to Crowell. He is met immediately, driven backwards. First there was Monroe Parton and then Teague Broadhead. In on the stop as well. Well, they give him some forward progress of about 1/2 yard to a yard, brings up a 2nd and 9. Couple of receivers to this side, one to the other for Duckworth. Steps up, fires, and the pass is caught by Chris Payne Jr., and Jr. has got the first to the 30.
Jackson, 1st down.
So the Aggies with another first. This one sitting on the Bayside 30. As we get 90 seconds away from the wrap-up of quarter number 1, a quickly expiring opening stanza. First down and 10 at the 30. Duckworth. Again, those short routes. King on the reception and then brings it inside the 20 to the 18.
That'll bring up another Jackson. First down.
And Jackson with another first down inside the red zone of the 18. Closer to the 17, where it is first down and 10. Hand off to Crowell, and Crowell's got running room to the 11. Another youngster in the backfield for the Aggies. He, too, is a sophomore. A lot of similarities between Bayside and Jackson from that perspective. A lot of the skill guys are underclassmen. 3 receivers to this side, 1 to the other on a second down and 3 near the 13. Duckworth flushed out of the pocket. And he'll be shoved out of bounds right about the 12. It will bring up a third down. Seems like we're saying this early in every football game, but key drives early in this one. Bayside trying to avoid going down by a couple of scores. Duckworth stepping out of bounds with just a tad under 24 seconds remaining in the first. Duckworth again to pass. Looks, fires to the end zone, incomplete. Well, that was one of those passes where you hoped he was on target because his intended receiver was covered. But in this particular case, it comes up short, the incompletion bringing up a fourth down. And it doesn't look like the Aggies are interested in something of the 27 to 30-yard field goal variety, so they will go for it on a 4th down and 4. Maybe the last play of the first quarter. Low snap. Duckworth able to bring it in. Fires into the end zone. It is incomplete in Bayside. Able to hold. Loss of downs, and the score stays 7-zip. And Bayside will get the football. Worst field position of the first half for Bayside, but they'll take it in this scenario. A drive that started at their own 45 for the Aggies stalls inside the 15. And that's where Bayside will take over first down and 10, their third series of this first stanza. 11 seconds remain in the first quarter. Next week, Bayside off. Got their first open week of the season after 5 ball games. Handoff given to Tate. And Tate will get a couple of yards. And that will put an end to quarter number 1. A 41-yard pass play. Duckworth to Chapman. That's the difference thus far in this one. 7-zip Jackson as we head to the second on JockJive.
We work really hard to please everyone, and we just received some fantastic feedback from a happy reviewer, telling us what a great job we did, and now we're happy to share it with you. And here's our latest rave online review. Our staff works hard to deliver top quality service and optimal value. It's just one more bit of evidence that we're on the right track with our company-wide emphasis on quality and satisfaction. You shouldn't settle for anything but the best, and we would love the chance to show you why we receive such amazing reviews. Thank you for taking the time to visit with us today. We look forward to speaking with you. We're only one call away from serving you.
And again, a big thank you to Gulf City. Started in 1945 as a small service and repair facility for commercial truck, trailer, and tank vessels. They've grown over the last 79 years. Not only service and repairs to commercial transportation equipment, but also a full sales, parts, and service facility with a couple of locations. Thank you very much to Gulf City for exclusively bringing coverage of Bayside football on this particular Friday night. Second down, and we'll call it 8. Give goes to Tate. Makes his way to the 14, and Aggies act as if the football has popped loose. They say they've got it. The guys who get the final say haven't said yet. And that is your officials, and now they do. Tate drops it, Aggies get it. And it'll be first down and 10 at the 14. Well, if you're going to play in Jackson, you want to play near perfect. And obviously the defense, kudos, held Jackson on the prior drive. But now Jackson's got it right back at the 14-yard line. And it's the defense back onto the field trying to, again, work the same magic that put an end to the prior drive. First down and 10 at the 14. Duckworth, give goes to Crowell. Inside the 10, down to the 5, inside the 5. Trying to nudge his way into the end zone, and the officials say he did. One drive, 14-yard play. And Jackson makes it a 13-zip game. And we'll try to make it 14-0. So Crowell on the 14-yard TD run. Extra point kick from Jeremy Houston. It is up. And it's over into the next door neighbor's yard. 14-zip advantage. Jackson at the 11:27 mark in the second.
We work really hard to please everyone, and we just received some fantastic feedback from a happy reviewer, telling us what a great job we did, and now we're happy to share it with you. And here's our latest rave online review. Our staff works hard to deliver top quality service and optimal value. It's just one more bit of evidence that we're on the right track with our company-wide emphasis on quality and satisfaction. You shouldn't settle for anything but the best, and we would love the chance to show you why we receive such amazing reviews. Thank you for taking the time to visit with us today. We look forward to speaking with you. We're only one call away from serving you.
Damian Tate taking the kick from the 8. Up the middle, he's dropped at the 24. And that is where Bayside will take over. Damian Tate, has got a chip on his shoulder now. Will try to atone for the fumble that eventually turned into the 14-yard touchdown run from Crowell. As Bayside takes over first and 10 at the 24. Okay, I know it's redundant, but another big drive. Bayside would love to respond to the touchdown, turn it into a one-score game again. They'll start at their 24. They've been able to move the football, just haven't been able to get inside Aggie territory yet. Dunn to pass. Takes it himself to the 29 for a gain of 4. Close to 5, and it'll bring up a second down and 5. Well, you can see Sammy Dunn just going through all his receiver options, taking a quick look around. Couldn't find anybody he wanted to throw to. Picks up 5. It brings up a 2nd and 5 at the 29. Dunn over to Tate. And he'll step out of bounds just across the 30. Brings up a 3rd down and 3. A reminder at halftime, we talked with Samuel Miller. Sam Miller is the former boys JV coach at Bayside, now the girls varsity coach. And he'll have his first look in just a few months at his varsity squad. And we talk with him about the prospects and the changeover from guys to girls. Done. It is still waiting to see if it's intercepted. The officials haven't indicated. And now they'll say it's an incomplete pass. Gordon stepped in front of Tate Moore, and that was a pass that Dunn really didn't want to throw, but the pocket was collapsing. And the incomplete pass will bring up a 4th down and long in a punting situation. George Quinaris back to kick for Bayside. Omarion King standing inside his 40 to receive. And that is a high, wobbly kick that will travel out of bounds right about the 44. Let's see, 43-yard line is where it travels out, and that's where the Aggies will take over 1st down and 10. They've had good field position all first half long, in the 43 again. Good starting point for Jackson. Big thank you to Jamie Ferguson, by the way, the AD and Bayside Academy. Worked out all the logistics to allow us the opportunity to be sitting here in John D. Simpkins Stadium and bringing you Bayside Academy football. About a month ago, it would probably be miserable sitting where we are situated. Tonight, very pleasant here at the stadium in Jackson. 1st down and 10 at the 43. Fake to Crowell. Duckworth, the pass. It is apparently incomplete. Chris Payne, the intended target. A little bit short on the toss from Duckworth. And it brings up a 2nd down and 10. Tomorrow, Georgia Military College football taking on Monroe. GMC with a big win over Lackawanna last week, now taking on a team that's just outside of the top 15 in Monroe. Nasir Powell going, hey, that wasn't supposed to be to me. Now, he wasn't even looking for the pass. He was looking to block. And the incomplete pass bringing up a 3rd down and 10. Also tomorrow, back to some baseball. I'll head to Lafayette, Louisiana. United Baseball has a fall training, if you will, in Lafayette. So some baseball and football tomorrow on JockJive. Low snap. Duckworth sacked at the 36. In on the stop, Miles Huter. And Duckworth has got, those stars and the little birds spinning in the head right now. Huter just popped him in the 36, and it was all compliments of a bad snap. Brings up a 4th down and 16 in a punting situation. Nylan Williams, an offensive lineman, handles the kicking chores, and not a bad kick for an offensive lineman. Does take a Bayside bounce back to the 35, and that's where the Admirals take over 1st down and 10. 9:22 to play in half number 1 in a 14-zip ball game. And also tomorrow, James, and is Brian going with you? Brian headed to Miles College. I'm trying to remember who that is. Is it Central State in Miles tomorrow? James says, heck, I don't know. He's producing the game, but, who's playing. It'll be on ESPN Plus. 4 o'clock Miles College football on ESPN Plus for the SIAC. Handoff given to Tate. Nothing up the middle. Takes a detour a couple of times to pick up 2, maybe 3. Ran 7, gets 2 or 3. It'll be a second down and long. Out to the 38-yard line. We'll call it a 2nd and 8. I know I should have looked at the Google Calendar prior to bringing up what's coming up tomorrow. Clark Atlanta and Miles. Tomorrow up in Birmingham. Fake to Tate, done buying time with the rollout. Got a receiver open, it is bobbled, and then caught by Bo Anderson, able to maintain possession to pick up the first. I like the play, bought some time for Dunn. And Anderson gets open at the 48. It'll be first down and 10 for Bayside. A couple of yards shy of Aggie territory. Tate has been the lone ball carrier thus far in this one, outside, of course, of Dunn. Dunn, pass, caught over the middle, Uter. Dropped the football, was his knee on the turf, or did he cough it up? He coughs it up. Pass was caught, first trip inside Aggie territory, but it's short-lived. Dropped by Uter, and Jackson will recover. So again, Bayside able to move against this Aggie defense. But turnovers have been costly. Tate and now Uter. And it is first down and 10 for the Aggies. And Bayside wants to talk. Got a dejected defense, and I think part of the logic for the meeting is to go, hey guys, only down by a couple of touchdowns, and we shouldn't be down by 2. Got a pause in the action at the 8:08 mark. And that will give me an opportunity again to say thank you very much to Gulf City for making our coverage possible. As we mentioned, evolved over the years, not only service and repairs to commercial transportation and equipment, but a full sales, parts, and service facility, and with locations in Mobile and in Calera. In Mobile, 601 South Conception Street. In Calera on Highway 31. And you can go to the website and check out more. GulfCity.com. GulfCity.com. Thank you very much, Gulf City, for making Friday night Bayside Academy football possible. Here in the last game that Bayside will play in September. Next time we see them will be in October. First down and 10 at the 43. Duckworth looking for somebody to go to, and finally dumps off to King, and King dropped immediately. No gain on the play. Maybe even a loss of a yard. It'll bring up a second down and long. Inside 8 to play in half number 1. Bayside Academy, 139 points, allowing 53 this year. Loose ball on the high snap. Duckworth will fall at the 31. Loss of 11. Back to the 31, and it brings up a third down and very low. Aggies have got to get inside Bayside territory and bring it to 47 to pick up the first. So a third down and long. 4 receiver set, Crowell on the backfield. You don't expect a handoff though. Duckworth to pass, drops back. Pass incomplete. Intended for Kean Chapman, and the incompletion will bring up a fourth down and long and a punting situation. And Bayside should wind up with pretty decent field position. Gamble with a line drive kick. It will roll out of bounds at the 45, and that is where Bayside takes over, first down and 10. Well, here's what the first quarter and a half has told Bayside. They can play with this Jackson team. Yeah, they're down by a couple of scores, but missed opportunities, 2 turnovers, and just a 2-score game. So Bayside, who has only been shut out 16 times in the history of the program, which started back in 2001, would like to go ahead and get rid of that goose egg. First and 10 at the 45. Moore in motion. High snap, Dunn able to bring it down. Rolls out, keeps it dropped back at the 37. Well, this time that roll out to buy time, read by the Aggies. And a loss of 8 brings up a second down and 18. Six minutes left to play in the opening half. Sam Miller, our halftime guest. Bayside trying to cut into the 14-zip lead. Battle between a couple of top 10s. Fake to Tate. Incomplete to Moore. Pretty well covered by Isaiah Hill. And it'll bring up a third down and 18. Bayside's got to get inside Aggie territory and get to the 45 to pick up the first. One trip inside Jackson territory, and that lasted literally moments. Uter picked up the first on a pass play and then fumbled. Third and 18. Dunn stays in the pocket. Receivers covered, and he's dropped at the 37. So might have squeaked out a yard or two and brings up a 4th and long in a punting situation. And again, George Guineras on the kick. Meanwhile, back to receive is Chris Payne. He's on one hash mark. The other belongs to Jamarian Gordon. A 4th, we'll call it 17. Punting situation, low snap. Guineras able to get the kick off. And it will be retrieved at the 43-yard line. Put down there by Monroe Parton. And the Aggies will take over, first down and 10 at their own 43. Well, I wonder if David Kane is in the house. I'm seeing other guys taking pictures, which leads me to believe David could still be hunting polar bears a little bit south of the Arctic Circle. Of course, I don't think he was hunting polar bears. I think it was moose. Polar bears are like endangered species. Fake to Crowell. Duckworth on the keeper across midfield, steps out of bounds. Maybe inside that first down marker. And it will be a first down gain of 11 to the 45-yard line, where it is first down and 10 Jackson. Football to the Bayside 45. Duckworth, low snap. Dumps it off to Crowell. Makes the catch at midfield, and hanging with him is Thomas Cunningham, and a flag comes out too. And it came on the Cunningham tackle of Crowell, or at least in the vicinity of the tackle. And penalty yardage going to be marked off against Bayside.
That'll be another Jackson.
So the football to the 39-yard line. And instead of a 2nd and long, penalty yardage makes it a 1st and 5. Open out on the flats. Chapman, he's the guy that broke tackles and scored from 41 yards out, and he's not going down easy again. Takes about 8 Admirals to bring him down inside the 27-yard line. Chapman, 6'3", 165. You keep breaking tackles like that as a wide receiver, and you're going to get the attention of some guys that coach college football teams. 1st down and 10 of the 27. Give goes to Crowell. Penalty flags fly in. And Crowell dropped by Cunningham at the 24. This in a area where you sometimes get hold. Let's see. No, it is an illegal procedure. So it'll nullify the run of a couple of yards and push the Aggies back 5 from the line of scrimmage to the 32. And brings up a 1st down and 15. Most points scored by an Aggie team, 102. By a Bayside team, 66. I don't think we'll get either tonight. Duckworth fires over the middle, nearly picked off. Wills Norton got his hands on it, couldn't bring it in. And the incomplete pass brings up a 2nd down and 15 at the 31. Well, I mentioned Georgia Military College football tomorrow. Scott McLeod on the play-by-play for tomorrow's action. That should have been a pick by Norton. And a chance there. That would have been a big play, not just in stopping the drive, but in pumping up the Admirals. High toss, but able to reach back and make the catch is Powell. And he'll be stacked up at the 21. It will bring up a 3rd down. But based on the Aggies' prior history, say the last quarter and about 9 minutes, got a feeling this is 4-down territory. Football at the 21, where it is 3rd down and 5. Crowell in motion. Duckworth, plenty of time, looks the field over, can't find anybody open, and then he will drop it into the lap of Kean Chapman. And Chapman will step out of bounds at the 4. So a pickup of a 1st, and it is 1st down and goal for the Aggies at the 4. Two and a half to play in the half. Aggies at the 4-yard line. Just too much time for Duckworth, able to find a target. Fake to Crowell, Duckworth on the keeper. He'll be stacked up at the line of scrimmage, may have lost a yard. It'll bring up 2nd down and goal. Uter in on the stop. Moore in on the stop. Billy Neal was there as well. Loss of a yard, back to the 5, 2nd and goal. Handoff given to Crowell, and he'll break tackles. 5-yard touchdown run. And Jackson will build the lead to 20. One through the air, 2 on the ground. And Jackson with a 20-zip lead. Jeremy Houston trying to make it 21-0. .147 left to play in the half. Snap off the mark. Holder wrapped up and dropped. That is Chapman. Or actually, that's Payne. Trying to hold, but a bad snap. 20-zip score. It is the Aggies on top.
We work really hard to please everyone, and we just received some fantastic feedback from a happy reviewer, telling us what a great job we did, and now we're happy to share it with you. And here's our latest rave online review. Our staff works hard to deliver top quality service and optimal value. It's just one more bit of evidence that we're on the right track with our company-wide emphasis on quality and satisfaction. You shouldn't settle for anything but the best, and we would love the chance to show you why we receive such amazing reviews. Thank you for taking the time to visit with us today. We look forward to speaking with you. We're only one call away from serving you.
A minute 47 left to play in half number one. Aggies with a 20-zip lead. A touchdown pass and a couple of touchdown runs. Tate will bring it in at the 15. Got a wall of Bayside humanity trying to create a wedge, and Tate will make his way to the 34. And Bayside will try to get on the board before halftime. .139 left in the half. Samuel Miller, your halftime guest. New girls varsity coach. They're at Bayside Academy, but not new to Bayside. Part of the Youth Development League, the director there. Prior JV boys coach. Takes over for the girls varsity team, and we'll talk with him at halftime. Toss over to Tate, and he'll leave it on the turf. Incomplete. Trying to run before he had possession. And it'll bring up a second down and 10. Well, if you're Bayside, you definitely want to get down the field. You want to run time off the clock. You want to pick up yardage so that Jackson doesn't have another opportunity before the half comes to an end. Dunn drops back, lobs it behind Uter. Incomplete, brings up a second and 10. And the incomplete pass stops the clock with 1:03 to play in the first half. This is a key third down. Yeah, you want to get points out of the drive. You want to have something on the board before halftime. But here you want to pick up the first so you don't give the ball back to the Aggies. .103 left in half number one. Third down and 10. Done. Everybody wrapped up and covered. Dumps it at the last minute. It is caught by Moore. He'll be a little bit shy of the first down. And it will bring up fourth down and short. Difference between game and play clock is about 10 seconds. And it looks like Bayside is going to go for it on a fourth down and a couple. At least at the moment, it looks like they are going to go for it. They may let that clock run down and then call a time. Let's see. Play clock at 3, 2, 1, and there is time called as the game clock continues to roll. And I think Bayside originally pointed at the play clock saying it's still rolling. I think coach said, hey, let it roll. Down to 8.7 seconds remaining here in half number one. Well, again, next Friday night, first open date of the season for Bayside Academy. They will have the night off and won't play football again until October 6th. And wow, what a matchup on October 6th. But I guess it's the best time to have your open date. T.R. Miller's coming to town. And we'll have the game for you at 7 o'clock on the 6th. Of course, don't forget tomorrow, Georgia Military College football back into the top 15 and taking on an unbeaten Monroe. There's not that many unbeaten teams in junior college football. Parity is the term for this year. And Monroe is one of the unbeatens, and Georgia Military takes them on tomorrow, noon Central, 1 o'clock Eastern. Quinaris to kick with 8 seconds remaining in the half. He gets the kick off, and he is manhandled. It will roll inside the 25 to the 23, and Quinaris being helped up by Uter. You do have a penalty flag. And Quinaris, the freshman, hurt. How he got the kick off, I don't know. But Bayside will obviously pick up the first on the penalty yardage. And they will have one more opportunity, an untimed down. In decent field position. Ball spotted at the 43. So the penalty yardage gives them their deepest penetration of the first half. And let's see what Bayside pulls out of the bag of tricks for this last play of half number 1. Is it of something of the Hail Mary variety, or, one of those flea flickers, or in this particular case, looks like they're just going to put the football on the turf? Well, I'm not sure. I mean, if you're going to do that, why not just decline the penalty? Clock and run out. But, hey, Baron Trotter is 4-0 on the year, and I've never coached a game, so he knows what he's doing, and I don't. And we're at halftime in a 20-zip ball game. Taking a quick look at the first half scoring. Jackson at the 6:40 mark in the opening stanza. Duckworth finding Chapman on a 41-yard touchdown pass play. Actually, the pass play only covered about 5 yards, and Chapman went the remaining 36 all on his own. And it was 7-zip Jackson after the extra point kick from Jeremy Houston. 11:27 to play in the second stanza. Crowell, a 14-yard touchdown run. That was after a Damian Tate fumble. And Crowell, a one-play, 14-yard drive. The extra point kick good. And at the 11:27 mark in the first half, it was 14-zip Jackson. Then with 1:47 to go in the first half, Crowell again on a touchdown run. This one from 4 yards out. The extra point kick fails. And that's where we are at the half in a 20-zip ball game. Jackson on top. I want to give a big thank you to the folks that are making our coverage possible. Heck, if they weren't paying for the coverage, we just wouldn't be able to provide it to you. A big thank you to the folks there at Gulf City with a couple of locations, one in Mobile and one in Calera. And when you've been in the business that they've been in since 1945, then you're pretty adept at what you do. They are an ASME code shop for tank and vessel repairs and testing, authorized to perform all types of DOT testing, barrel repairs, both internally and externally, thickness testing, vapor test, hydro testing, and all types of tank testing required by the DOT, the Department of Transportation, done by Gulf City, and we thank them for making our coverage possible. We're talking with girls varsity basketball coach Sam Miller at halftime. Here is that conversation. Great to have with us here at halftime. And obviously, we're recording this in advance, so we're actually not talking at halftime, but you're hearing our conversation at halftime with Samuel Miller, who is not new to Bayside Academy, but he is new to the girls' varsity basketball program. Coach, how are you?
I'm doing great, Robert. I appreciate you having me on.
Hey, man, it's a delight to have you aboard. And before we talk about Bayside, talk about your time as the JV coach, now as the varsity girls coach, I want to know a little something about Samuel Miller and give us some background.
So I am a kind of local boy, you would say. My family moved here in 1992. So I've been in Fairhope for quite some time and been around to kind of see it boom and grow and all the neighborhoods pop up. So that's been kind of exciting and sad at the same time. But I grew up in Fairhope. I was actually born in Eugene, Oregon. Go Ducks. Got a little soft spot in my heart for the Oregon Ducks. They got a good game this weekend with Colorado.
Yep.
So I'm looking forward to that. But no, born and raised in Fairhope and grew up playing sports. Love to compete. And actually how I got involved at Bayside was I played for Ralph Watson at Fairhope when he was coaching boys basketball at Fairhope. And then he called me up years later and said, when he was at Bayside, and said, hey, I need somebody to come help coach middle school. So I said, man, I will follow Ralph Watson wherever he goes. That's the kind of impact he had on me as a young man, as a player. And now that I've kind of gotten into coaching as a coach as well. So that's how I got kind of plugged into Bayside. But something random right now about me is I am training for a half Ironman. And so with all I do, I've been managing to squeeze in some training in the early mornings.
Wow. Now, what is a half Ironman? What does that include?
It includes a long swim, a long bike, and a half marathon at the end. So
that's an Ironman to me, man. That's not a half Ironman. You know?
if I finish and get a medal, I will gladly be happy to have that on my wall.
I've got to ask, what would possess anyone to want to put their body through that kind of tour? Actually, it is great for an athlete, obviously, but I can't. Yeah. I don't think I would have the discipline it takes to be good at that kind of thing. So that's something different. That's something special inside.
Yeah, I think just like anything else, and just like anything that makes a team great, you have to have people along the way. And so I've got a pretty good training partner that we kind of hold each other accountable. So those mornings when you don't feel like getting out of bed at 4:30 to go swim in a pool, you'll get a nice little text saying, "Hey, get your butt out of bed. We got to go train." So I think just like any good teams, you need people to have accountability and hold you accountable to that standard and that goal.
Okay, a couple of questions before we get to basketball. One is, since we're on this half Ironman competition, what prompted that? I mean, what got you interested?
Just the next challenge in life. I kind of have always enjoyed suffering, you might say, which might make me a little weird to the average Joe, but I think I know I've done enough of that to know that there's something great on the other side of a little bit of pain and discomfort. And so this was just kind of the next thing on the list. And one of my good buddies kind of challenged me with it, and I hopped on board. So that's kind of where it comes from.
All right. And let's precede this Ironman and this half Ironman competition with Eugene, Oregon. How did you wind up from Oregon to Alabama?
So both of my parents are from this area, and went to high school in Mobile. And I guess in the late 80s, they kind of were out in Colorado. I have a uncle who is an Olympic swimmer that was the Air Force Academy's women's swim and dive coach for, I think, 26 years. He actually just got inducted into their Hall of Fame 2 summers ago. So they were out in Colorado, and then they eventually moved to California, and then eventually kind of up to Oregon, which is where I came into the picture. And I think with having family down here, both of their parents were here, so they decided to move back in 92.
Wow. Well, okay, so we've gotten from Alabama to Oregon, and I guess back to Alabama. So now at Bayside, as of 2016, as the JV coach. And I think you kind of alluded earlier as to how you got to Bayside. Tell us how you became the varsity girls coach from that JV spot for the guys.
Well, I was coaching with Ralph, and then as last week or 2 weeks ago, when y'all had Coach Vines on, I helped him coach JV last year. And then Coach Davidson, who was a girls coach here, moved on, and then that job came open, and Coach Ferguson, who I also coached soccer with, our athletic director, said, hey, would you be interested in that? And I said, man, absolutely. I think that's a great opportunity at a great school. I think sometimes going to Bayside and being in this community, we sometimes forget how incredible of a place it actually is and how incredible the coaching staff we have here is. And I feel at the bottom of the totem pole at this school in terms of coachings, but I hope to one day work my way up it. But there's some incredible coaches like Coach Vines, Coach Limbaugh, obviously what Ann Schilling's doing, what Trotter has been able to do this year with our football team. And then also Coach Swagger, what he does with our running teams, man, it's a pretty incredible school considering how many kids we have go here. It's pretty incredible what we do in athletics.
What is the biggest difference from a coaching perspective in coaching boys basketball versus girls basketball?
Can you ask me in 5 months? But I will tell you, the brief time we had a little bit of summer work. This summer I had a chance to work with the girls, and man, I was telling my wife, I went into it. I was unsure. It was uncharted territory for me. And I said, God, if this is what you want me to do, I'll do it. And man, I have found that they are incredibly tough. Those girls that play at this school to play volleyball, I think don't get enough credit for that environment that they are put in every single day in terms of the amount of pressure that is on them to constantly go out and perform with the 20 odd years of state championships in their rearview mirror. I think it's incredible what they do. And so I found in the brief time this summer, man, the girls at this school are tough. They are mentally tough. They can handle whatever you throw at them. And I'm excited to transfer that onto the basketball court this year.
You are also involved with the Youth Development League there at Bayside. So tell us what that entails.
So our youth development is basically kind of like our in-house feeder system. You know, our job is to keep kind of the train rolling. And instead of worrying about what we don't have, we like to go in-house and focus on the kids we do have. And another reason I think Bayside is so incredible is we have access to that 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th grade every single day, as well as our varsity players. And so if you want to build a program, you know, you start them young, you get them to fall in love with it. You get to teach them your language, how you speak as a varsity coach and the terminology. Then also having the older kids invest into that next generation, I think is huge. And it allows the older kids to say, hey, when I leave here, you know, I've left a positive mark on this program, but more importantly, on the school.
You are the director of the UDL. I don't think folks understand how vital that is to the success at the junior varsity and the varsity level. There are many programs locally that you can attribute their great success to starting with those youngsters at a very young age. So sometimes, I mean, do you kind of take it for granted how unique and how much of a role you play with the Youth Development League?
I wouldn't say I take it for granted. I'd kind of spin it the other way, man, because I'll just use our soccer program as an example. There'll be days where we go out and we practice with the 3rd and 4th grade, and then the 5th and 6th grade. And then in that same kind of 5-hour window, we'll have our varsity practice. And so Coach Ferguson and I are constantly we have names on the board that are 3rd and 4th graders, and we're looking at it like, man, in 3 years, we're going to have so-and-so in this position. And so we kind of get to press fast forward a little bit. And, you know, you hear the word the process a lot, but you actually get to see where the process is going, which is really exciting in terms of filling in holes. And hey, when this freshman is a senior, they're going to be playing with this 5th grader who's going to be a freshman. That's going to be a good combo. So I sit back and look at it, and man, it's almost like a free preview into the future.
Well, that is great to me. And obviously it does speak volumes to the success at Bayside Academy. Before I let you go, I got to flip back to girls varsity basketball, and you tell me what in your mind is an acceptable season this year.
An acceptable season to me is going to be building a culture that people want to come watch and that people want to come be a part of. I think if you start with a blank slate, it's a great opportunity. So I think we have a great opportunity, and I have 5 seniors this year. So I'm excited for them to kind of go into it fresh and be able to put their mark on it. And when they come back, they can see where that mark has taken the younger girls. But last year, I think we only had a handful of wins. So if we can beat last year's win total, that is a great season in my mind. But at the end of the day, we're teaching life through sports, kind of like what we preach in our YDL. And so as long as our girls get a life lesson out of this program, I think it'll be a win in the end.
Coach Samuel Miller, great talking with you. I think you said this was a first for you. Let's make sure it's not a last. We want to do this again.
Absolutely. I appreciate your time, Robert.
Thank you.
We work really hard to please everyone, and we just received some fantastic feedback from a happy reviewer, telling us what a great job we did, and now we're happy to share it with you. And here's our latest Rave Online review. Our staff works hard to deliver top quality service and optimal value. It's just one more bit of evidence that we're on the right track with our company-wide emphasis on quality and satisfaction. You shouldn't settle for anything but the best, and we would love the chance to show you why we receive such amazing reviews. Thank you for taking the time to visit with us today. We look forward to speaking with you. We're only one call away from serving you. We work really hard to please everyone, and we just received some fantastic feedback from a happy reviewer, telling us what a great job we did, and now we're happy to share it with you. And here's our latest rave online review. Our staff works hard to deliver top quality service and optimal value. It's just one more bit of evidence that we're on the right track with our company-wide emphasis on quality and satisfaction. You shouldn't settle for anything but the best, and we would love the chance to show you why we receive such amazing reviews. Thank you for taking the time to visit with us today. We look forward to speaking with you. We're only one call away from serving you.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's make some noise for your Jackson High School Aggies.
20-zip ball game. It is Jackson on top of the half. One score in the first stanza, two in the second. And the two scores in the second. Crowell on touchdown runs of 14 and 4 yards. The touchdown in the first was really all Chapman. 5 yards on the pass from Duckworth and 36 yards on the breaking tackles run by Chapman. As we get second half action underway. Bayside losing the coin toss. Jackson opted to defer. They'll be the first to get it in the second half. Short kick fielded at the 24-yard line. And then popped as Gordon loses a helmet in the pop. And now a little extra shoving going on after the fact. Wow, that was one of those pops with everybody going, ooh. Talk about stopping your forward progress. First down and 10 at the 34-yard line. Well, time to get to your shout-outs, too. You know how the third stanza goes, right? And we take your shout-outs, and if you are a veteran to the shout-outs, you know what we're going to do. If you're a newcomer to what we typically do in the third quarter, let me lay the groundwork. As the handoff is given to Crowell, and Crowell stopped at the 39-yard line. We're looking for shout-outs. Who's it to? Who's it from? And where are you watching the game from? All of that in a little creative shout-out to 334-488-1385. 334-488-1385. If you can't remember the number, it's attached to your scoreboard. Payne on the reception. He'll be dropped immediately. Drew Murphy able to defend quickly. A loss of 4 makes it a 3rd and 9. And we'll do it all third stanza long. So your shout-outs, 334-488-1385. Who's it to? Who's it from? What is it? And where is it from? That's kind of a nutshell version of what we're looking for. Bayside trying to stop Jackson on their first drive of the second half. Duckworth flushed out of the pocket, able to get rid of it to Payne. Payne not going anywhere. Loses yardage again, back to the 27. And it'll be 4th down and long in a punting situation for Jackson. So at least on that opening drive, sure looks like Bayside made the adjustments defensively. And it's a 4th down in a punting situation. Back to receive, Wills Norton. Stands at the 47. A little bit of a wobbly kick. Norton will call for the fair catch and make it at the 47. And that's where it is first down and 10. Shout out to number 9. Go Admirals. Love your grandcade. Paul and Bobby. Thank you very much, Paul and Bobby. And that's how you do it. 334-488-1385. Football at the 47. Best starting position of the football game for Bayside. They have made 2 trips into Aggie territory. One of the 48, one of the 43. Give goes to Tate. Tate burst it inside midfield down to the 45. He'll pick up 8. It'll bring up a second down and 2. Shout out to Will Pettis from Grandpa in Joplin, Missouri. Love JockJive. Well, thank you very much. And thanks to Gulf City. Hey, yeah, a big thank you to Gulf City. And we appreciate you watching there in Missouri. And for the shout out, second down and a couple. Uter and Moore from the right to the left side of the line. Give goes to Tate. Tate will drive forward for the first to the 42. And Bayside's got a first down and 10. First Bayside drive in half number 2. After a 3 and out for the Aggies on their opening drive of the second half. Pretty much a must-score drive. It's not a score you got to have to win the ball game. There's always the possibility you battle back and you score some quick TDs, but you really want something here. Tate will drive his way to the 38. Pick up 4. It brings up a second and 6. John D. Simpkins Stadium here in Jackson, Alabama. My first trip to the stadium and my first trip to Jackson. I have never been to Jackson, Alabama before tonight. The other side of the stadium is pretty full. I would say about 3/4 of capacity. Second down, we'll call it 7. Football at the 49. That's where they say the knee of Tate touchdown. Handoff given to Braunhand. Braunhand 35-30 inside the 25. Down to the 16 goes Teague Braunhand. First back besides Tate to carry the football tonight for the Admirals. Shout out says go Bayside and Will Allen. Gamma and Danny pulling for you. Gamma and Danny, thanks so much. Go Bayside. Love listening to the voice of the Admirals. Well, thank you very much. Great halftime show with Coach Miller. Let's get a big second half win from Coach Matt Limbaugh. Coach, thanks very much. Great to have you on the other end of the coverage. Broadhead might have squeaked out a yard. It'll bring up a second down and long. Coach Limbaugh, the baseball coach, expecting big things from Bayside again this year. Coach, you've just kind of made us anticipate, expect wins with the baseball program. And great to have you watching tonight. Just about midway through the third stanza, midway through your shout-outs. Pass is caught. That is Wills Norton on the reception. And you have got an injured Admiral. And is that big Graham Uter? He is down at 17, writhing in pain. And man, you don't like the area that they appear to be working on, and that is the knee. It is that right knee. And obviously the Bayside sidelines quiet. Here's good news. At least he is up quickly. Got a little wobble in that walk, but he's putting some weight a little bit on that knee. Let's hope he gets to the sidelines and everything's okay. Well, at least as he made his way to the sidelines, it looked a little better with a walk, but I don't know if that's any indication as to the extent of the injury. So he will make his way towards the tent. That actually stops about halfway there and grabs a chair. Will sit back and be evaluated. So that obviously a potential big loss for Bayside, but we're going to hope for the best as they tend to the right knee of Graham Uter. It is a 3rd down and 9. Well, you're talking about 6'7", 280. You're talking about a big spot there on the line. Now you got a penalty flag. And that flag came, there was already apparently a flag, and then the second flag comes as Bayside is walking away from the line of scrimmage. So do we have more than one infraction? Let's see what the official indicates. Unsportsmanlike call against Bayside. And they're going to be marching back more. So unsportsmanlike conduct charged against Bayside. And they will move all the way back to the 36-yard line. So that is a couple of infractions that go against Bayside, and all of a sudden they move from inside the red zone to the 36-yard line, where it is now 3rd down and 29. Done. Pass is caught at the 31. Needed 29 and picked up right at 6 on the pass play to Bo Anderson, but they are in 4-down territory at this point in the ballgame, midway through the quarter. And down 20 zip. Shout out to number 11, Teague Broadhead. Go Admirals. Love from Grandpa and Grammy in Marietta, Georgia. Thanks, Marietta. To Will Pettis from Am and Amps in Fairhope, Alabama. Go Admirals. Thank you very much. Am and Amps. 4th down and long. Done. Sacked at the 36. Aggies will take over there. Well, the 2 infractions pushing Bayside back. Costly. Forces a 4th and very long, and the Aggies get the football back at the 35-yard line where it is 1st down and 10. Shout out to Billy Neal from Dad watching at 40,000 feet. Hey, I'm not there. Well, Dad, we're glad that you're watching up in the skies, traveling from somewhere to somewhere. I'm assuming. I don't know of any mountain 40,000 feet tall. Crowell. Broadhead's got him, wraps him up. He'll be dropped 2 yards behind the line of scrimmage. Shout out from Morgantown, West Virginia to Graham and Miles Uter. Mama and Paul Pawali are watching and cheering you on. Well, here's the news for you where Graham is concerned. He is standing. So he is up and occasionally trying to shift that weight over to that right leg, testing that right knee. 2nd down and 11. Duckworth drops back, fires. Incomplete pass intended for King. And Thomas Cunningham might have gotten a finger on it and deflected the pass. There's a shout out. Go Bayside. Tate Moore's Nene watching from Camden, Alabama. Nene, thank you very much for watching. It's not a night of Bayside football until we hear from Nene. And we have. So it's a night of Bayside football. Thanks, Nene. 3rd down and 11. Duckworth. Steps in the pocket, fires over the middle. Pass is caught. Dropped immediately was Powell, but he's got enough for the first. Here's a shout out to all the guys and the folks that support them. David Kane and all the guides at McKenzie Mountain Outfitters in Northwest Territories, Canada. Well, that answers the question, David. I was looking around looking for your photography work. You weren't here. I'm thinking you were still in Canada. You are. Guides and Kane and company, thanks for watching. Incomplete. Strong rush. 2nd and 10. Aggies at the 30, make that the 47. When it is 2nd down with 3:56 left to play in the 3rd. Well, David's been up in Canada now for about a week, so you should have a lot of good moose meat to bring back down to Alabama. And yeah, that's right. You know, we want a moose burger on October 6th. Crowell pounding his way, breaking tackles. Kane trying to catch up when he won't. And Crowell will go 54 yards for the touchdown. Broken tackles at the line of scrimmage. And Crowell 54 yards at the 3:44 mark in the 3rd. His 3rd touchdown of the night. And the Aggies take a 26-0 lead. Shout out says, let's go Admirals from Sarge. Thank you very much, Sarge. Up the middle on the 2-point conversion, and it is good. Well, that was to atone for the missed single-point effort earlier. Up the middle goes Powell, and it's a 28-zip ball game. .344 left to play in the 3rd. And the Aggies have taken a 28-zip lead. That is Kane fighting his way out to the 31 on a return of 20. And it'll be 1st down and 10 Bayside. I mentioned Bayside's only been shut out 16 times in the school's history. Down 28-zip. Would love to get rid of that goose egg. Hey, still taking your shout-outs for about 3 minutes and 33 more seconds here in the 3rd. 334-488-1385, 334-488-1385. Shout-outs in the 3rd stanza. Boy, we've heard from all over the country and above the country, 40,000 feet up, and north of the country in Canada. First down and 10 at the 31. Hand off to Tate. Toss to Moore. Tries to cut it upfield. He'll be dropped back at the 27. Here's good news for Uter fans. Graham Uter is back onto the field, so the knee problem has not kept him off the turf. Went to the sidelines for the remaining portions of that prior drive, but back out now. Loss of a couple of yards brings up a 2nd down and 12. Fake to Tate, pass to Moore. He'll slip at the 27, make his way to the 29, and it'll be 3rd and long. Shout out says, keep working, boys. Wish I could be out there with y'all from Sadlock. Go Bayside, Carson Wright. Third down and 11. Animals have got to cross the 40 to pick up the first. 2 minutes, 25 seconds to play in the third. A couple of unbeaten teams coming in, the only 2 remaining unbeaten teams in the region. Dunn flips it over to Tate, makes the catch at the 35, and then slipped a little bit, but still able to maintain his balance and make his way to the 42. Actually made the catch at the 25 and slips, but able to make his way across the 40 to the 42. Comes up a little bit wobbly. You know that he sat out the last quarter and a half in last week's ball game against Wilcox Central due to a bone bruise and maybe feeling the effects a bit there, but what a great job of maintaining his balance and picking up the first of the 42. And now there's going to be penalty yardage tacked on as well against the Aggies. And we'll bring Bayside to the 43. Cade Lyons checking into the backfield for the first time tonight. A 4-receiver set for Dunn. On a 1st and 10 at the 43, sets up the screen, gets it to Cade Lyons, and Lyons will make his way inside the 35, down to the 34. So Lyons on the pass play. Brings up a 2nd down and 1. Football spotted at the 34. They say the knee of Lyons touchdown there. Handoff given to Broadhead. Broadhead, big seam up the middle, 20, 15, 10. Backs his way down to the 5 and 4. 1st and goal, Bayside. What a hole created by the offensive line, and Broadhead just exploits it. Fires through. And it is 1st and goal, and timeout asked for by the Aggies. Let's get to a couple of shout-outs. This one to Cade Lyons from Blackshear, Alabama, saying go Bayside. And go Bayside from Cody Thornhill in Fairhope. Thank you very much, Cody. 52 seconds remain here in the third, and the Aggies asking for time. In their history, Aggies 240 shutouts. And we're hoping to make this 241, but Bayside saying, we're 4 yards from pay dirt. We've been shut out only 16 times in our history and don't need 17 tonight. Gordon Denniston is being tended to on the sidelines. It looked like he was kind of limping to the sidelines, but they are actually looking at the wrist. So we got a little bit of a brace, not a cast, but a brace, a wrap on that left wrist of Denniston. And he is making his way back to the Bayside sidelines where the rest of his teammates are situated near the 20. The ball at the 5. And Tate Moore's in at quarterback with Damian Tate in the backfield. Moore will be dropped at the line of scrimmage. Minor lost a yard. It'll bring up a 2nd down and goal. And here comes Sammy Dunn back onto the turf. Teague Broadhead in the backfield as well, as Damian Tate will make his way to the sidelines. 23 seconds left in the third. Second and goal. Dunn. Strong rush. Dropped at the 13. And the helmet of Dunn pops off too, and that means he's going to have to come off the turf for a play, try to reach and get it back on before officials spotted it. But that will put an end to the quarter. We'll head to the fourth with the Aggies up by 28.
We work really hard to please everyone, and we just received some fantastic feedback from a happy reviewer, telling us what a great job we did, and now we're happy to share it with you. And here's our latest Rave Online review. Our staff works hard to deliver top quality service and optimal value. It's just one more bit of evidence that we're on the right track with our company-wide emphasis on quality and satisfaction. You shouldn't settle for anything but the best, and we would love the chance to show you why we received such amazing reviews. Thank you for taking the time to visit with us today. We look forward to speaking with you. We're only one call away from serving you.
Couple of more shout-outs as we head to the fourth. Thanks so much for sending them from wherever you are tonight. Shout-out for Gordon from your favorite babysitter, number 68. I don't know. He's too big. I don't think he's got any babysitters anymore. That's a big freshman on that offensive line from Bayside Academy. Now looking at a third down and goal from the 13 as we begin the fourth. Teague Broadhead in the backfield. Dunn fires to the corner of the end zone. It's incomplete. Triple coverage on Tate Moore. There is something lying at the 3. Is that a flag? And it is. And the official indicating a hold. The question is it defensive or offensive? And it is going to be defensive holding. So that'll be half the distance to the goal. And bring up another third down opportunity. Shout out to JockJive from the Uter grandparents. Thank you for making these games possible from far away. Thank you very much for watching from far away. And we haven't heard from Ra. I wanted to hear from Ra tonight because I understand I've been calling her Ray Ray. And it's Ra, and I wanted to get it right, make you proud. But I got a feeling Ra, even though we haven't heard from her, is watching. So thank you, Ra, if you are, for watching. Bayside trying to get on the board. Fourth quarter action, 11:50 to play in the football game. Ball spotted at the 6, where it's a replay of third down. And you would think 4-down territory, but there again, are you thinking get a goose egg off the board and get points? Broadhead will drop it. Turned around to look to see who was in front of him before he had possession of the football. I don't know that he could have scored anyway. There were about 3 Aggies nearby. And Baron Trotter's like, hey, I'm not worried about points. I'm worried about winning the ball game. So he will go for it on a 4th down and goal from the 6. Broadhead in the backfield. Trying to use that height of Miles Uter. It is incomplete. And the Aggies will take over 1st down and 10 at the 6-yard line. Well, we've got a running clock. I don't think that is by design. I think somebody must have forgot to hit the stop button. They hit it at the 11-12 mark. So the incomplete pass on 4th down gives it back to the Aggies. They've got it at the 6. Hand off to Crowell. And Crowell will be met and dropped right about the line of scrimmage. Little to no gain, second and long. Brings up a second down and 10. Bayside 67 and 56 in away games. And off to Crowell, up the middle, breaking tackles. Broadhead hanging on long enough to get teammates in on the stop, and he'll be dropped at 14. It is a third and short, third and a couple. Football spotted at the 14. If you go to the 16, it's first down, and the sticks move. Bayside trying to get the ball back with 10 to play. And Crowell's got the first. Out to the 20-yard line. Slow getting up was the offensive lineman Marcavian Blake. 6'2", 265 pounds, but he is up and to the line of scrimmage. And it'll be a first down for the Aggies as we get inside, 10 to play. Crowell able to make his way to the 25 for a gain of 3. Second and 7. I know when you look at the scoreboard and it's a 28-zip ball game, Aggies on top, but Bayside has not played that poorly of a football game. They've made the adjustments at halftime and have allowed just a single touchdown, the 54-yarder by Crowell in the second half, when he broke free at the line of scrimmage. Just busted a bunch of tackles. Then you had the couple of turnovers mixed in, the 2 fumbles, and, of course, the back-to-back penalties when Bayside was inside the 15, Herb. But if you can take away several of those plays, you're looking at a 7-zip, a 14-zip ball game. So, though the Aggies are going to leave the stadium with a substantial victory, Bayside's got some nice stuff to build on. I believe that was Jeremiah McKenzie running the football. Only the first non-Crowell carry by a back in the ball game. And McKenzie will lose a yard or two and brings up a third down and long. But we will really get a true test as to the capabilities of Bayside when they take on T.R. Miller. Duckworth going to pick up the first. Broadhead trying to dive to catch him. Couldn't. Noah Kane will spin him around at the 39, and he'll be dropped at the 36. The coverage went to the other side of the field and left a wide open left side, and Duckworth will pick up the first on the big play down to the 36. Well, the ball game against T.R. Miller becomes big, too, from the perspective that you lose tonight, you still got a chance at hosting a playoff game. McKenzie, gain of 3, brings up a second down and 7. You lose to T.R. Miller, then you're looking at, if you make the playoffs, then you're playing on the road, potentially. And, of course, in the region, you got 8 teams. You got 5 teams that currently are battling for those 4 spots. You got 3 teams that probably won't have a chance. Orange Beach, Wilcox Central, Satsuma. McKenzie, wow, somebody just upended McKenzie. And I believe that somebody was Billy Neal. You might have McKenzie going, Coach, can you put Crowell back in? He got hammered. And it'll bring up a third down and short.
That'll bring up a
Check that. They say it was enough for the first. And the chains move late. It'll be 1st and 10 at the 25. Fake to McKenzie. Duckworth on the keeper. He'll stretch it out to the 24, and that's where Tate Moore will bring him down. Parton coming in late. A couple of yards on the gain brings up a 2nd and 8.
That'll bring up 2nd and 8.
Football inside the 25, near the 24. Nearly halfway through the 4th in a 28-zip game. Aggies will stay unbeaten. Bayside will fall to once beaten. Duckworth lobs towards the end zone. There is contact. There's a catch. Powell's got it. I actually thought the contact was initiated by the receiver, Powell. It really looked like he had kind of pushed aside, grabbed and pushed aside the defender, Noah Kane. But it dropped right into his lap after the fact. Well, it was contact. You'd think a flag of some sort would fly. It didn't. Touchdown pass does. It covers 24 yards, and the extra point is good. And the Aggies will lead it by 35.
We work really hard to please everyone, and we just received some fantastic feedback from a happy reviewer, telling us what a great job we did, and now we're happy to share it with you. And here's our latest Rave Online review. Our staff works hard to deliver top quality service and optimal value. It's just one more bit of evidence that we're on the right track with our company-wide emphasis on quality and satisfaction. You shouldn't settle for anything but the best, and we would love the chance to show you why we receive such amazing reviews. Thank you for taking the time to visit with us today. We look forward to speaking with you. We're only one call away from serving you.
.550 to play in the football game. Aggies with a 35-zip lead, and I am not just saying this because I am calling Bayside Academy football, but this is a better team than the 35-zip score would indicate. But it is 35-zip. Aggies with a lead. Kick return to the 35. And that's where it will be 1st down and 10, Bayside Academy. Burt Brown on the return. Got a shout out from Graham and Miles Uter's grandparents, Layla and Papa. Glad Big G is okay. Yep, apparently is, and that is indeed good news. As a matter of fact, he is ready to walk onto the field here with 5:43 to play in the football game. So obviously he is fine with the football spotted at the 35. Well, where Bayside is concerned now, I'm just trying to leave with some momentum. Not going to score 5 touchdowns in 5 minutes and 43 seconds. But can get prepared for T.R. Miller. Should be a very interesting game. T.R. Miller losing to the Aggies 38-7. And a penalty flag. It is offsides against the Aggies. And James just said, and it is strange that you would feel this way, but you do. That you feel better about them playing T.R. Miller after seeing them tonight against the Aggies. Now, if you just look at the score and you don't look at the game, then you're like, they were routed. No, it's a different ball game than the 35-zip score would indicate. And it does make you think that 2 weeks from now, a matchup with T.R. Miller is going to be very interesting. Dunn tucks it in, takes off. He'll step out of bounds near the 46, but there is a late flag. And let's see who this is called on. It is holding against Bayside. So it nullifies the Dunn run. Well, and where Bayside is concerned, if you knock off T.R. Miller, you are still in a very good spot to take the number 2 spot in the region. Of course, you got Escambia County. You don't want to sell them short. They are coming to Daphne this year. That's good, but they're still tough. But you still got a T.R. Miller and Escambia County. And, of course, you can't overlook the teams that you consider to be the weaker teams, the Satsumas or the Orange Beach. That is a little too tall for Cade Lyons. And it'll bring up a 2nd down and 15. Ball spotted at the 30. 5:27 to play in the football game. Handoff given to Lyons, and Lyons drop behind the line of scrimmage for a loss of 3. And now you got another offensive lineman wobbling a little bit. That's Will Allen. Stays in the game, though, as the ball is spotted now at the 26. It brings up a 3rd down and long.
Hey, fans, let's make some noise for your defense.
Admirals have got to cross the 45 to pick up the 1st. Dunn steps up in the pocket. Flushed out of the pocket, or at least trying to get out of the pocket, and then gets hammered at the 25-yard line. This has been a hard-hitting contest. And Guineris, by the way, who had been handling the kicking chores and on that roughing the kicker call the last play of the 2nd half, rattled. And he will not kick here. It'll be Thomas Cunningham. Well, the play clock says goose eggs. I would assume that's not right based on the fact they haven't delayed the game. And Cunningham will kick. Payne will let it hit. It will roll out of bounds at the 39. And that's where the Aggies take over, 1st down and 10. Aggies have a 9-game schedule. They are 3-0 coming in, had an open week the first week of the season. They also have an open week next week. And will go into the open week 4-0. Bayside Academy will go into the open week 4-1 and have an extra week to heal and prepare for T.R. Miller. And that'll happen at Freedom Field on the 6th of October. 3:19 left to play in the football game. And Duckworth out. Payne in the backfield to QB for the Aggies, and he'll be smashed to the turf at the 36. They'll give him his forward progress to right across the 40, a gain of a half yard. Second down and 9. And now it is the Aggies taking lots of time. Trying to register their 205th 41st shutout in school history. 108 seasons. First team came in 1916. And that you're talking about World War I was when the first team was fielded here in Jackson, Alabama at Jackson High School. Under Coach Cody Florney, who is the 24th coach in Jackson High School football history. Handoff given to McKenzie. And McKenzie wrapping up the football, making his way inside Bayside territory to the 48-yard line. Bayside falling to 4-1. It'll be their 57th road loss in school history. It makes the T.R. Miller matchup so much more significant. Now you're playing, and granted, you could still be the number one team in the region, but let's face it, the Aggies are looking really tough and have already knocked off T.R. Miller. So if you're playing for the 2 spot, then you want to beat T.R. Miller. You want to be able to host. Football on the turf. McKenzie coughs it up. And Teague Broadhead falls on it at the 44. And maybe the Aggies won't get that 241st shutout. Bayside with 1:13 to change it. First down and 10. Football at the 45. Second meeting between these two teams last year. Aggies won in Daphne by a 30-10 final. High snap. Backup QB Bo Miller able to bring it in. Hands off to Lyons, and Lyons to the 48. He'll gain 2, maybe 3, brings up a second down and 7. So Coach Barron Trotter not worried about the shutout. Knows this game is in the books. Aggies have won it. And will give his starters a little extra rest. Handoff given to Lyons, and Lyons looking for running room. He is knocked backwards at the 48. And it'll bring up a third down, but we won't get a third down executed. Ball game will end. Aggies will win it. Scoring goes this way. Chapman to the 6:40 mark in the first, a 41-yard touchdown pass play from Duckworth. Extra point kick good. Crowell at the 11:27 and the 1:47 mark in the second, got 2 of his 3 touchdowns. His third, a 54-yarder, came at the 3:44 mark in the third. And then Powell on the receiving end of a 35-yard touchdown pass from Duckworth. Most of the extra point kicks good. After the one that wasn't, the 2-point conversion was. And it's a 35-zip final. Aggies will win it. The week's off next week. T.R. Miller in a couple of weeks. On October 6th, we'll be at Freedom Field to bring that one to you then. Thanks so much for watching our coverage. We'll see you in a couple of weeks. Hey, want to check out some junior college football, Georgia Military College and Monroe tomorrow at noon on JockJive. For the crew, James Crenshaw producing, Brian McCullough on camera. I'm Robert Williamson. So long, everybody. Thanks for watching.
And if you don't mind